When I think about all the children Hillary Clinton has personally murdered and chopped up and raped, I have zero fear standing up against her. Yeah, you heard me right. Hillary Clinton has personally murdered children. I just can't hold back the truth anymore. Hillary Clinton is one of the most vicious serial killers the planet's ever seen. Now, there's a twist to that. Am I talking about the devil worship story with her chief of staff, her campaign chairman, looking at the menu of blood and semen and body parts at the Aleister Crowley event, the private event? Oh, no, I'm not talking about that. I mean 200,000 plus dead Christians with her operation with Syria and her operation in Libya and not letting the Christians get out and directing Al-Qaeda and ISIS who target and murder children and put them through sex slavery and throw Catholic priests off cliffs and kill people en masse and murder gays and everything else you can imagine because they don't like peaceful people. And they con everybody that they're for open society and they love everybody. Anything they do is for degradation. Now, Doug Hagman, I've been hearing him for 15 years on Coast to Coast AM. First 5, I thought, that guy is too radical. A lot of what he says I know is accurate. A lot of it just is too much. He said they were going to bring in massive Muslims at some point, set up a caliphate. First guy I heard say it. He said they were going to use it for strategy attention. And he said a lot of things. And then about 10 years ago, I started going, man, that all came true. And then more of it came true. And then I learned from some of my sources who are former Secret Service connected to NYPD. Now, one of those is Bongino, but he doesn't give us any secret stuff. Another one was also in the NYPD. They said, you ought to interview Doug Hagman. That guy's dead on. I go, well, I've been interviewing him. I know he's dead on. He was here 2 days ago. The video's on Infowars.com. He said, I'm not going to go all the way because this is just too over the top. I'm going to let it come out. But the NYPD is getting ready to basically have a press conference. The FBI is as well. There's the insider, NYPD, FBI found sex blackmail network on Wiener's computer. And he got into it's sex crimes with kids. It's everything. No one had this. And all I'm pointing out is we don't make stuff up. It's not about credit. It's about, let me tell you something. When you're with Secret Service agents and they're senior, and then those are smart, pretty tough, smart guys, you know, and they've got the archetype and everything of the suit and their, you know, their eyes right on you, and you can tell and they're like, she's really dangerous. We're all really scared, and we can't tell everything. But just, you're right about it all. God save America. They start getting a tear in their eye. You're like, well, what is it? They go, it's bad. They hurt children, folks. And then he talks to the NYPD, and that's Eric Prince has come out with all of it, ladies and gentlemen. The stuff they're doing, all of it, talking to the NYPD, the same thing he said 2 days ago about children and sex islands and sex slavery. And folks, a lot of these kids, they don't just throw them out on the side of the road, folks. You know what they do to them, okay? Look at these people. Look at Wiener and Abedin and Hillary. This is who's going to rule over us. And I cry because I am so ashamed of what our country's turned into. And they want to degrade us. They want to sell baby parts and keep little babies alive and harvest their organs and laugh at us. And the fake liberal media making jokes about everything. They had a whole bunch of articles this week saying I'm a liar, that there's not even any criminal activity that Hillary's done. I mean, these people are ready to do anything. They are the biggest scum you could imagine. You understand that? We've got to break with these people or we're going to lose our soul. And I mean that, even if you haven't worked for them. All of us have to do everything or we're with them. You understand? Everything. We have to do whatever it takes, but be smart about it, to beat them. Look, they could cheat Trump. He's clearly way ahead. He's landsliding. They're adding 9 to 12 to 15, 20 points, and he's still winning by 2, 6, 7, 8 points across the country. It's happening right now. But they're probably going to steal it and blow stuff up and blame it on us. So that's why, A, we don't get violent, and B, we expose who's really behind any false flags. Or if Trump does get in by the grace of God and they're unable to steal it, they're going to activate the riots. We don't. This is the battle for America. Listen, this is it. Everybody wants to talk about it. You want to go, you know, watch movies where the good guys, the bad guys are fighting or whatever. They're trying to blow up the Death Star. Folks, this is the real deal, okay? This is America fighting for its life with globalists that have hired the scum of the earth. Because here's the thing. Even a bad, corrupt person doesn't want to wreck something that's successful and wealthy. They want to skim off of it. Let's hit and boss hog. These are people that love stealing the Haitian money, 90+% of it. That Hillary's hooked in with this woman that got indicted for smuggling kids in and stuff that were, I mean, folks, and the Haitians, and it hooks into New York. I mean, it's bad. And whatever it is, because all I'm told is it's pedophilia, it's Satanism. We've told you this over and over again. And now it's coming out, and they keep escalating. I told you the last week 10 times. They don't want to release this because it's so damaging to the country, to everybody. But you know what? It's better than them being in control. So the fact that Hillary and the media and all of them keep supporting her, even while this is happening, means it's all going to have to come out. Hillary may start a big war, get an internet kill switch. Can you think what they might do to stop it? Here's the deal. People now aren't bluffed. They go, okay, go ahead and start the war. Then you know what, we're doing it. There's a point where you just say, I'm fed up. Justice be done, may the heavens fall. They said that who's that famous quote from? I forget. That was said long before nuclear weapons. Justice be done, though the heavens fall. Maybe we deserve a nuclear war that they're trying to give us. Maybe that's what we let devil worshippers in. Maybe we're meant to everybody to die. You know what? At least they won't be able to torture little kids to death anymore. At least they'll all just get killed by hydrogen bombs instead of Hillary leaning over them. Man, a damn dark room. Imagine that. How about having that witch march in there? With your toddler they fished out of your backyard. How's that sound? You want that? Because that's what this is. And she hates me because she knows I see her and I know who she is. Dark heart, give me a break, lady. We all know who's got the dark heart around here. And it ain't me. Now, I kind of gone wild here, but, I mean, I got to hand it to you because I also have the sources of the FBI. I was thinking about a press conference. The NYPD I knew was heavily involved. I didn't know they were the ones that were forcing the FBI now. That, since you said it 2 days ago, that's been confirmed. So Doug Hagman here joining us. Eric Prince, NYPD ready to make arrests in Anthony Weiner case, goes on to say, pedophile island, that's why they're upset, little kids. I saw you during the break holding up some of the investigative material. This is about to get bombshell. So, Mr. Hagman, I'm going to give folks your website out, obviously. It's go to it all the time, but I'm so angry I can hardly even think right now.
It's HagmanReport.com.
That's right, HagmanReport.com. I mean, this is recap your sources, what they said, and go ahead and go with all of it. I know you don't want to say it because it sounds so crazy, but you know what? They're the ones that are crazy, not us. Tell folks what's happening.
Well, I think you sense my reluctance to talk about this on Wednesday. I didn't know how far this was going to come out. My sources at the periphery of this investigation, and even within NYPD, said, look, this is not just about sexting. This is not just about espionage. This is about child pornography. And just to, for the first time, well, let me back up for a second, because I'm getting really, I mean, this will really get in your mind, inside your mind, because it's so horrific. I've been an investigator for 30 years. It was back in 1987 when I was first exposed to satanic ritual abuse, satanic crimes, cult like this. And I wrote about it in my book, Stained by Blood, okay? Now, having said that, I've seen some things that I just couldn't believe possible. But when you take what I've seen with that and now connect it to the government, it makes it even more putrid, if that's possible. I was in contact with my source after our interview, and he said, look, we've got the goods on a number of people, including some pretty salacious images and files from the computer. Just to give you an example, I have not showed this to anyone before. You know, and I debated whether I should show it now. But this is the kind, I'm about ready to show you this with your permission. It's censored out, so it should be okay.
We blacked out the areas, yeah.
Right. This is one of the files that was found during the search of the of Weiner's computer. All right. This was given to me by a source. Now, that, because of all the black on there that I put on there, that might not mean anything to anyone, but this goes along with.
If you saw what was under it, you'd be horrified.
Well, yes, and it's look, this is all about sex trafficking, or a lot of it's about sex trafficking. A lot of the emails.
Oh, let me add this: WikiLeaks leaked to We Are Change that was bold enough to go with the angle that this is about child trafficking. Now, what does that tell you? WikiLeaks leaked the info, then linked to the media that finally figured out what was going on first. That tells you WikiLeaks is getting ready to release the pedophile info.
And yes, and there's more.
God, look at Hillary's face. I mean, she looks like a demon because she is. I'm sorry. Go ahead, Doug.
No, it's fine. I would urge everyone looking at these emails, because there are so many of them with respect to Podesta. We found, well, my source, I shouldn't say we, my source.
And let's be clear, your source gave you that photo just as an example of what's.
Right.
And obviously gave you one of the lighter ones, because it would even almost be illegal, even though you're an investigator and accredited, to even share that with you.
Right, and actually, I could probably take the tape off, and it wouldn't really mean anything. It would be fine. But the fact is, and by the way, this was not transmitted over any electronic device.
Exactly.
Okay, this was hand-delivered to me. But having said that, there's indications of dark web accessing the dark web, of course. There is a subtext or coding to some of the emails that Podesta and others have, including Hillary and whom I have been engaged in. For example, pizza party. I'll just leave this out there. Pizza party. That's not exactly what it means. You know, don't bring your favorite video over for pizza night. A pizza party is something that has sexual connotations.
And that's why they say stuff like there'll be semen, there'll be you know, this and that. There'll be blood, lots of blood. Blood right. Even means something.
No, exactly, it does. I mean, you could go to
because what spews lots of blood?
Yeah. Well, yes. And you know what? I was watching some other videos. Alex, you had Larry Nichols on talking about some time ago, talking about Hillary's trips monthly, or
He told me 20 years ago, and actually researchers actually have the news articles. Hell, Nichols doesn't even know this. It's in the Washington Post. Bill saying, I'm a voodooist. I like to be possessed by spirits. He wrote it in his book. But I mean, Nichols told me about the handler, who he was years ago. Now the guy's in the Inquirer. And they were there handling Hillary. It was so embarrassing because she was going to these orgies, but also going to these other rituals. And to her credit, she hadn't been in the real, bloodthirsty stuff until later. And she got sucked in by when she was first lady into the hardcore stuff. And so they were trying to handle all that. And they called that the witches, the witches church. That we should cue up Nichols since he mentioned it. Go ahead.
Well, the spirit cooking even has a different connotation to it as well. Some claim that
well, Crowley said it meant cooking children.
Exactly. And for as much, now, look, I don't know in that respect, I don't know what the...
Because they're torturing a soul, a spirit, a child.
Exactly. But I'll say this. There is enough, according to my source who provided me with that documentation.
Oh, you're gold, brother. I mean, you said the press conference was going on. Here it is in Breitbart with Eric Prince of everybody saying it. Total credibility with his sources. So what else are your sources saying?
Well, this is big. This is going to involve not just the Clinton campaign, but it's also going to involve high congressional staffers, high congressional congresspeople on the left and the right, on the Republican and Democratic side. They knew about this. They were part of this. Think of this as like an electronic Bohemian Grove, an electronic persistent Bohemian Grove. And as we get into this, and I'm learning about this from what my sources giving me, I got to tell you, there's so much more to come out, and so much more repulsive, repugnant information. And you know, it reminds me too of Hillary Clinton's stance on abortion. There's
baby
some
parts.
Exactly, and to think about that is just so horrific. But
which a lot of the abortuary people that have woken up on public admitted they were doing rituals before. These are actually satanic covens where they're doing the rituals daily, especially the partial birth abortions. But expanding on that, when you talk about electronic, clearinghouse for this, that's what they're doing as they compromise. They think they're above the law. They're roping other people into it so they can then corrupt and control them. I had William Binney, former head of the NSA technical, on earlier. He said this is a classic infiltration espionage program, but it's being done by large banks, not by the Russians.
And that's a good point too, because there is some high-level Wall Street bankers that are not only engaged in this behavior, but have on video this kind of behavior. And people might say, well, just go ahead and show it, let it out to, to everyone. Well, I don't think you can really do that. But some of the documentation, including that is
this should all come out. But folks, it has to be done right. The stock market's going to crash. I mean, this will cause a civil war. Okay. I mean, I'm already feeling very angry right now. Okay. And so, quite frankly, like, I haven't been showing these videos of the satanic rituals that are just their public ones because it's so provocative.
Exactly. I mean, I guess in a nutshell, we're seeing money laundering, child exploitation, sex crimes with minors. I mean, clearly underage minors. 15 for Wiener would be too old, And so for
I was about to say, they're putting out the lighter stuff, hoping the Democrats back off and do the right thing, but they aren't. So I'm told it's going to go right to the finish. Just, you want the worst stuff, we're going to see video of a toddler getting chopped up.
Yeah, and I wouldn't, for as crazy as that sounds, Alex, I'm going to tell you right now, I would not put it past them. We're talking Jeffrey Dahmer kind of activity.
My fellow Americans, my fellow humans on planet Earth, there is an epic, legendary awakening of nationalism and populism happening from the Brexit to the Donald Trump phenomenon to Russia pulling out of the New World Order and arresting the bankster oligarchs. Humanity's will for self-determination and freedom is expressing itself. The great classical liberalisms of Thomas Jefferson and Francis Bacon are reawakening right now. And it's because of the historical times we live in that InfoWars is going to embark on an unprecedented 52-hour broadcast. We've done 24-hour broadcasts before, but we've never gone 52 hours. This Monday, from 11 a.m. Central, right through Tuesday, right into Wednesday, when the Wednesday show ends at 3 p.m. Central, we will broadcast for an unprecedented, legendary, over-the-top 52 hours live. The second great awakening is taking place. We are in the dawn of a new era of renaissance, of rediscovery and human liberty. Donald Trump, the Brexit, InfoWars, Matt Drudge, Breitbart, WorldNet Daily, and so many others are only one small manifestation in the fire of liberty that is now exploding across the globe. You can see it in the news. You can feel it. You can witness it on the street. History's happening. They always say this election is the most important in our lifetimes, and we laugh it off. I wouldn't even get involved in past elections because they were so clearly frauds. This one's the big kahuna. A clear demarcation line, a crossroads between nationalism and tyranny, between Americanism and globalism. That's why we're doing this one time and one time only, because history's happening. A 52-hour live transmission kicking off Monday, November 7th, 2016 at 11 a.m., running right through Election Day the 8th, into the night at 3 p.m. and quite frankly beyond. It's historical, and it's part of overthrowing the dinosaur media, not just overthrowing the two-party corrupt system. I want to see 10 million viewers tune in over the 50-plus hours, and that's where you come in. You are the heart and blood of the InfoWar. If you spread the link to Infowars.com/show and point out that this is the alternative new media, this is the rebellion, this is the modern Paul Revere operation, then all of you are riding right beside us, not behind us. So spread the word, my Paul Reveres, no matter where you live in the world. To information warfare arms, the globalists are coming, and they will be met on the field. Infowars.com, powered by 1776. When I think about all the children Hillary Clinton has personally murdered and chopped up and raped, I have zero fear standing up against her. Yeah, you heard me right. Hillary Clinton has personally murdered children. I just can't hold back the truth anymore. Hillary Clinton is one of the most vicious serial killers the planet's ever seen. Now, there's a twist to that. Am I talking about the devil worship story with her chief of staff or campaign chairman looking at the menu of blood and semen and body parts at the Aleister Crowley event, the private event? Oh, no, I'm not talking about that. I mean 200,000 plus dead Christians with her operation with Syria and her operation in Libya and not letting the Christians get out and directing Al-Qaeda and ISIS who target and murder children and put them through sex slavery and throw Catholic priests off cliffs and kill people en masse and murder gays and everything else you can imagine because they don't like peaceful people. And they con everybody that they're for open society and they love everybody. Anything they do is for degradation. Now, Doug Hagman, I've been hearing him for 15 years on Coast to Coast AM. First 5, I thought, that guy is too radical. A lot of what he says I know is accurate. A lot of it just too much. He said they were going to bring in massive Muslims at some point and set up a caliphate. First guy I heard say it. He said they were going to use it for strategy attention. He said a lot of things. And then about 10 years ago, I started going, man, that all came true. And then more of it came true. And then I learned from some of my sources who are former Secret Service connected to NYPD. Now, one of those is Bongino, but he doesn't give us any secret stuff. Another one was also in the NYPD. They said, you ought to interview Doug Hagman. That guy's dead on. I go, well, I've been interviewing him. I know he's dead on. He was here 2 days ago. The video's on Infowars.com. He said, I'm not going to go all the way because this is just too over the top. I'm going to let it come out. But the NYPD is getting ready to basically have a press conference. The FBI is as well. There's the insider, NYPD, FBI found sex blackmail network on Wiener's computer. And he got into it's sex crimes with kids. It's everything. No one had this. And all I'm pointing out is we don't make stuff up. It's not about credit. It's about, let me tell you something. When you're with Secret Service agents and they're senior, and then those are smart, pretty tough, smart guys, you know, and they've got the archetype and everything of the suit and their, you know, their eyes right on you, and you can tell they're not, and they're like, she's really dangerous. We're all really scared, and we can't tell everything. But just, you're right about it all. God save America. They start getting a tear in their eye. You're like, well, what